Okay, here we go. I think we're recording. Looks like we're recording. There we go. All right, so tonight is Dream Your Life Amazing, Chapter 5. I want to talk to you guys about the chapter. Now, of course, we're not going to go over the homework because this is our group chat. You know, as you guys take this video and do this live at your event, you want to talk about the homework that I gave you last week. You know, discuss some of the things that worked for you and what didn't work for you. That's a perfect opportunity for you guys to share some of the practical nuance of the book, you know, because everyone sees this because it's pretty elementary stuff. I mean, it's very basic, simple, how to get from point A to point B, but different personalities and different types of people are going to get there differently. So it'd be a good opportunity for you guys to talk about it. So chapter 5 was a good chapter. It was actually fun to write. It had a couple of the hacks. I love doing life hacks and like doing success hacks. So I first started talking about if you will fall in love with the things you need to do to become a success, you will not only win faster, but the journey would be just as much a reward. Now, that's a quote that I've been saying for years. And what it basically is talking about is in this chapter, we're going to talk about how to get things done faster and get things done faster than everybody else. The number one skill in being able to do that is becoming impassioned by the thing that you're doing. You know, the people who have this dynamic energy in them to get things done, they fall in love with the thing. Now, one of the hacks that I talk about is how do you fall in love with something you don't like? Like, you know, you're going to have to read 650 pages a week to get to your goal. How do you like reading if you don't like reading? Well, there's two different ways of doing it. The first way and the best way is to get with people who already are passionate about it. Watch videos, watch and hear stories about people who love the thing that you want. Even mathematics, most people don't like math. It's probably the number one thing in school that people are like, ew. But if you'll find the passion, I found a passion for mathematics in 7th grade because I had a 7th grade teacher that was just passionately in love with it, and it was addictive. And so one way for you to fall in love with the things that you need to do is figure out what you need to do, the most important things, and generate the passion from somebody else. The other thing is to continue to do it. Here's the problem with most things. Most things, especially the things that are really good for you, in the beginning, they're not fun. There's this learning curve. There's this what seems like this stretch to get any momentum at all. And a lot of times, many, or if not most personalities have a hard time with the learning curve, with the beginning curve. If you'll give massive action to get up to a certain hump where you first get to your first milestone, where it starts to become more fun, you'll get there a lot faster. Now, my personality is very much like that. If I don't get something done, like if I'm not playing a guitar and I'm not playing a song within a week, I'm putting the thing down. I have to be actually, you know, learn 5 or 6 chords. I have to be playing a song. There has to be some kind of thing to get me past that pain. I have to see some results. And so that's why I wrote the book as fast as I did. If I was going to stretch it out for 3 months, there's no way it would have ever gotten done. So that's one way to fall in love with the thing that you're doing. Passionate involvement. Just get crazy with it. Just give your life to it. Get to that first milestone faster than you ever imagined. And that's one way to get a lot of stuff done. So let's move to the next chapter. We talk about winning your days. You know, one of the most important things in the entire book is the fact that we don't put, you know, in the Dream Planner. If you don't have your own copy of a Dream Planner, dreamplanner.info is where you get it. But right here at the top of the page, I actually leave this open perfectly. I actually leave that date open because what should happen at the beginning of each week as you start putting those numbers in there, I want you to psychologically think, this is the last day, this is the last time I'm ever going to get January the 15th. This is the last one I ever get. And so we could have easily just filled in all the numbers. It's not that big of a deal. You know, in Photoshop, we put the numbers in there. That hole gives you that pause, that momentary pause to think, you know, today is my last day. Today is my last January 15th. I need to make it work. And so spend your days. Don't waste them. That's one of the most important things you're going to get from this, passion and purpose. If you can combine passion and purpose, those two principles alone, you will accomplish 10 times more than your peers. And that's really what you want to do is you want to have a life that's full. You want to have a life that's rich, full of experience, full of life. Now, we talk about in here prioritizing everything. It's one of the things that people do is they have a task list like you see right here. I hope you guys can zoom in big enough on that task list. You see there's a difference between tasks and goals. A task is something that you can absolutely, you know exactly how much time it's going to take. You have an appointment, it's going to take from 2 o'clock to 2:30. You know that you're going to have to write these 500 words. You know, tasks are very simple. Goals are ethereal. Goals are, oh, I'm not really sure how long it's going to take. I have to break that down into tasks. And a lot of times when you start your day putting these things off and prioritizing your day, It's crazy. I use this book. It sits here every single day. I've been doing this for 15 years. I never go without a pad of some sort. Even when I didn't have the Dream Planner, I took this principle and applied it every single day. And the weeks that I forget, or if you go for an entire month, you'll realize that how important this one little tiny tool is to be able to separate your tasks from your goals and to be able to prioritize your 1, 2s, and 3s. Because so many people leave the most important thing off till tomorrow or off till the next day, and they don't get their most important stuff done. So very simple principle in here. Go ahead and read that chapter. Practice it for next week. One of the things that I want to give you, homework number 1 for next week, is when you talk amongst yourselves and in your group, take your day and go through 7 days of tasking your goals and putting 1, 2s, and 3s, and give some feedback as to what worked, how well it worked, what didn't work. If you had any struggle with prioritizing a 1, 2, or 3, talk about it with the group and find out how this can be one of the most powerful tools that you have. All right. The next one we have page 80. Don't be blinded by yesterday's dream. Really good chapter. Highly recommend it. I'm not going to actually go through it. Ping pongs is probably one of my favorite hacks of the entire book. Of all the things that we teach in the book, ping pongs has got to be number 1 or 2. As far as a hack, the things that distract you day to day, to keep your energy zapped, to keep you out of that zone, keep you out of the zone of accomplishment, keep you out of that zone of getting things done. Ping pong balls, very, very important to rule your thoughts, because your thoughts have this negative energy. You know, when you're going through stuff in your life, or you have stuff that's not done, or they continually bombard you and take your energy away. Sometimes there's no way to get rid of it and just barrel through. You have to get the things done that are ping pong balls in your life, the crisis, the emergency, the pain. You have to press through that stuff, get that thing out of the way as fast as you possibly can. And then you can deal with the regular ping pong balls, the daily distractions of life. So I'm not going to give you any homework on that one. Never forget the big stuff. Very, very important. I'm going to skip past that one. Monkey buttons, super, super important. Now, I tell the story in here, and I really talk about addiction. I talk about the life of someone who's addicted to the emergency, the urgency of life, and that a lot of times we give ourselves to things that are not good for our soul, not good for our goals, not good for our life. And it's very, very important. The people who are pleasure-centered, and a society that's pleasure-centered, will be very ineffective in relationships and in accomplishing things. You have to figure out what in your life is causing you to be distracted. Now, what's really important about this, just like with exercise, or just like with prayer, or just like with eating right, all of those things in the beginning, the pleasure that you get from doing the short-term fix is bad for you, and everybody knows it. But in life, they don't make that same connection, that they don't put television and certain types of entertainment as something that's distracting them from their goals. Anything that we do in life that we win quickly is almost never worth it. And so a monkey button is something that brings us temporary pleasure. It brings us the quick, the immediacy. It's not low and slow. It's not building relationships. It's not building long-term success. And in corporations, it's the death to a big corporation. When they start thinking on a weekly schedule instead of a long-term schedule, it's the death of a company. And so how much more for you? As people, we need to get away from the pleasure-centered things in our life. You don't have to necessarily knock them all out at the same time. But if you're addicted to something, you should probably get away from Facebook. Get away from coffee, whatever it is that becomes an addiction in your life. Break the habit. You can go back to it, have a balanced life. I'm not talking about someone who's a monk, shave your head and hang out in the backyard. But I'm talking about find the areas of your life that can be disciplined. Get rid of the things that are not an emergency. And the same thing goes with this chapter, delayed response, or the pause. Beautiful, beautiful chapter. Really love it. Chapter 6 is going to be principle-centered relationships. So what I want to do is for chapter 5, I want you guys to discuss your homework for chapter 4. As a group, we're gonna open up as a group. I'm going to turn off the video here, and you guys can talk amongst yourselves. Go ahead and talk about your stuff for chapter 4. Ask questions about, if you have any questions about chapter 5 homework, what the task and the goal, the difference between the two is. And then just talk amongst yourselves. One of the things that's really important is for those of you who want to start having your own book club, just reach out to us, dreamliferewards.com, or whoever got you here. If you have some people in your life that you can help, your kids, your grandchildren, the people at work, you want to start a book club somewhere, we have this thing set up so that you can just turnkey, get everybody a couple copies of the book for free, the first 4 chapters, and then get people started in this thing. It's one way to really build your influence. Powerful, powerful trick. So I'm going to leave it with that. Appreciate you guys. Share amongst yourselves. Hope you enjoyed chapter 5, and I'll see you next week for chapter 6.